So in honor of this being my first gear shootout, I'm wearing my Second Amendment shirt. So I want to talk about microphones today, and there's a lot of gear shootouts between like expensive microphones up against each other, or maybe a good budget microphone up against an expensive microphone. Today I want to take two budget microphones because maybe you're on a budget kind of like I am, and you want to know where to get the best bang for your buck. So we are going to put the Cad M179 up against the AKG Perception 220. They both have a high-pass filter switch. They both have a 20 dB pad. But the Cad has a variable polar pattern. So it goes, there's a detent in the middle for cardioid. You can roll it out to omni. And it's totally variable throughout the middle. You can roll it out to figure 8 on this side. That's handy. This has like a standard mount. It also comes with a shock mount if you want, which I don't have with me. The AKG also comes with a shock mount, but take it from me, it sucks. I went through 2 of them before I bought this, which is just kind of a generic large diaphragm condenser shock mount. This microphone has some heft to it, so the one that comes with it actually will break if you just leave it up on a stand with the microphone in the basket. So to me, that's not really valuable. But enough about the features. Let's get to how these things sound. I pre-recorded some demos of me trying to say very similar things into the same microphones from the same distance away. Not scientific, but let's check it out. Check. 1, 2, 3. Check. Cad M179. Test. Check. 1, 2, 3. AKG Perception 220. Okay, as you can see, the AKG is a little darker. The Cad has a much more present top end, and it's also a sweeter top end. The AKG kind of gets a little brittle up there. Not bad compared to some of the other budget mics, but a little brittle. Let's just run these one more time. Check. 1, 2, 3. Check. Check. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there you go. Now I engage the high pass filters on both of these microphones just so you could hear it. It's pretty standard, but let's give it a roll. We're going to start with the Cad. This is back on the Cad M179 with the high pass filter engaged. Okay, now we are on the AKG Perception 220 with the high pass filter engaged. Okay, pretty self-explanatory there. It's a high-pass filter rolling off around 80 hertz. Yay! The next thing I wanted to check was the proximity effect. Sometimes that's a thing that you want to avoid like the plague, and other times it's something that's more of a desired effect if you want to get sort of that larger-than-life voice of God kind of sound. So I wanted to see which of these had a more useful proximity effect if that's the kind of sound I was looking for. So I started with the Cad and then went on to the AKG. Here they are. Cad M179, checking proximity effect, up real close. Okay, now we're up right close to the AKG Perception 220, checking to see how big the proximity effect really is. Okay, so they both obviously have it in spades, but I kind of like the sound of the AKG a little bit better. It gives me less rumble, but I feel like the bottom end is a little chestier. It really jumps out and kicks you a little bit. So if I had a singer or any type of thing that I really wanted to get that larger than life, this is the Lord speaking kind of sound, I would choose the AKG. Now, I did a little test to see about the rejection on the backside when they're both in cardioid, because that can be really important if you have multiple microphones up in a room or multiple musicians playing. So here's the rejection from the back, standing about 10 to 12 inches away. Okay, I am in the back of the Cad M179. Okay, so same thing. I am about 10 inches to 1 foot behind the capsule on the AKG 220. Okay, so I feel like these are really close, but I kind of feel like the AKG has a little bit better rejection here, but it's very close. One of the coolest features of the Cad, especially in its price range for a microphone under $200, is the variable polar patterns. So I did a little test on that so you'd have the opportunity to hear some of the extra features that you don't get with the AKG. Okay, so we're in cardioid on the M179, and I'm just going to slowly move it toward Omni. It has a detent in the middle, and I'm rolling it out, and now we are in Omni. So that's what this microphone sounds like in Omni. Cad M179. Now let's go ahead and check how it sounds in figure 8. So we're rolling it back to the center, getting closer to cardioid. There we go, we're in cardioid now. We're going to roll it out, slowly roll it out, slowly to the right. We are in figure 8 on the Cad M179. Now, in the figure 8 pattern, your rejection is supposed to come from your sides. So I'm going to hop over to the side and see how the rejection is. Okay, I think this should about do it. All right, so those are some really nice features. So at the end of the day, which one do you buy? Well, I think for applications, I'm going to be choosing the Cad. It works great on toms. It can work great on vocals. It works great on acoustic guitars. And with the variable polar pattern, you can do a lot of stereo miking like mid-side, bloomline pair, stuff like that. However, that doesn't mean there's no place for the AKG. This can sound really nice if you have a vocal that's a little thin sounding, that you need to warm up a little bit, thicken up a little bit. This really lends itself to that application quite well. So you can't really go wrong with either of those mics, but I think as far as value goes, bang for the buck, just having variable polar patterns in a microphone for under $200 is amazing. So the winner of the first ever Ears Only Audio Gear Shootout, the Cad M179.